Hi, good morning from the Canaan Academy Homeschool. Today we're going to go over different things I do to get ready for record keeping for the school year. As you can see, I have this big notebook. It is a 5-subject notebook. And what I'm going to do is I am going to have each section be for a semester. So our first semester, I went down and I started a curriculum list for each child. I showed their ages when I started making the plan and the different books that we would be using. Now, in a few minutes on this video, you will see another sheet I'm also using for this, just so I don't have to keep looking at this one. It straightens it out a little bit better. Then the next that I did was divided it up into days of the week. The margin over here is for notes, and I also had a big space over here left that I can use for notes and any changes that I have. For instance, over here I wrote a little choreography I came up with for counting by fives. It's a little hip-hop number, and I found some hip-hop music because I did used to teach hip-hop and combo classes with beginner tap and ballet, things like that. As we go on, and I did want to show you this, as we go on, I will circle things that we didn't get accomplished, and you will see arrows where I moved it over to another day. So this is just to let you know, no, you may not accomplish everything, whether you have 5 things on your list or 10 things on your list. Then of course I marked this out entirely and made it a fun day, which was much needed at that time, which was just last week. Now, each child is in a different workbook, so to speak. A couple of them are in the same workbooks or reading books or math books, depending on where they're at. Again, the circles, if I need to move it, and an arrow, check marks, if we accomplished it. If there's 2 check marks, I had 2 of them doing it. If there's 3, there was 3 of them doing it, and then 1. So yesterday we did, I have a vintage one at home kindergarten book, which tells you what to do every day of the week, but these kids kind of knew everything, so we just did a week or 2 of the lessons in like a couple of days at a time to get through the book to use for review. That's your option as a homeschooler. So we did the 36th week yesterday, and which was Friday, August 27th. So we did not accomplish a lot of this, but I made notes on how long it took each child to do what packet, things like that, what weaknesses they had that I need to work on. Like I have one that needs to work on the lowercase letters and where they are. He knows the capitals really well, but when it came to writing the lowercase, even with a little cheat sheet card that had him on there, he had struggles. I have one that had problems with the same thing, plus also sounds of the letters. And then I had another one who's further along, but still writes a few letters backwards. So things like that I need. So if you use tests and things like that, or review pages, and keep that in mind, then it will help you in the long run to know what you need to work on with your children. Now, normally I would advise people to do their lesson plans in pencil because they're always changing, but lately my pencils have been fading out on the paper. So I've gone to ink, which then I end up with little blobs like this. So if you're a neat freak, you may not want this to do. I did plan a couple books and things further out past Labor Day, just because it's our goals to finish certain workbooks and things, which I will do that in another video. So one thing I'm doing this year is I have made these these folders for each child. In them, I have a record sheet that's K through 8 program record card with skills. I found this in an old book when I was homeschooling my daughter and everything. So that helps. I also have a cumulative grade sheet K through 12, a curriculum sheet, and a diagnostic Iowa test. Will go in there once we start doing those. Now, these folders I do not let the children color on. So this is what the cumulative grades K through 12 sheet looks like, and you can get these offline for free. And there's a place for you to put the dates that you did, what grade it was, things like that, what their grades were, the averages for the year, and the total days that they did. So that just helps you later on when you go to do a manuscript. Now this is the K through 8 program card I was telling you about. It's from Houghton Mifflin Company. This was copyrighted back in 1987. I came across it in the 1990s. What I do is I check mark what they've accomplished as satisfactory. And I don't do the unsatisfactory necessarily. I just circle the things that we need to work on and go back on. Oops, I should have blocked that name. So anyways, you get the idea, and it does go all the way through. It starts out with locating objects, knowing their positions inside, outside, left, right, that stuff. All the way up to the last thing they would do in 8th grade is solve problems using permutations and combinations to make a prediction for an outcome. So I have 3 littles this year, and I have a folder for each of them. Once we start doing Iowa tests and diagnostic tests, those results will go in their folders as well. Then I also have these little folders that I made, and inside it says daily tracking folder. I put their names up here, the school year, and how old they were when we started it. So this is our fall semester folder. We have another one. So I have a Calvert Math 1st grade book that this child is in. He's 4. His sister, who's 5.5, is also in there, but she's further along. As they finish each chapter and do a chapter test, I stamp it with a smiley face. You can have them color it in or whatever. Then I have the readers that we're using. The Little White House, which has 38 stories in it. It's a primer from the 1960s, and at the time I did the folder, he had 7 completed. He's done another one because we're reading out of another book right now. The next book he'll go into once he finishes that is on Cherry Street, 1st grade reader. Then I have the Ultimate Dick and Jane Storybook Collection. He is halfway through the book, so I started where he was in the section called We Come and Go. And it had 14 stories, of which 4 he had already completed. So I put 14 circles, and as you can see, he's got 4 more to go. So every time he reads a story out of that, he gets a stamp. And I have listed each of the other sections and how many stories there are. On this other side, I have listed the different workbooks that are in his little cubby shelf. For instance, Disney Edition Subtraction. He did have Scholastic Jumbo Book of Kindergarten Fun, which he completed. Comprehension Curriculum and Basic Skills Kindergarten. Summer Bridges Kindergarten to First, and the Learn at Home Kindergarten. So he's completed 2 of those. He is halfway through the comprehension and most of the way through the Disney Edition Subtraction, but he's 4, so we've kind of tapered off of that one. When he finishes the comprehensive, we will do the Summer Bridges. We may even do a little bit towards the end at the same time. So each child has one of those. Then I found this online for free, and on it I have listed their names, their ages. It's kindergarten 1st grade because he will be finishing the kindergarten probably around October at the latest, November. And so he'll go into first grade at that time. And here's my school year, and here are all the books that we're using. And I did put that the Learn at Home Kindergarten was completed on 8/27. Scholastic Jumbo Book in Kindergarten was finished on 8/16. So it's a nifty little sheet, and there's a place for notes, and of course you can write on the back. And as I said, each child has one of these. I know, a lot of folders, but I think it's going to simplify things for me. Then each child has a folder with their name on it for work to be completed. And every day I put work in it that I'd like us to accomplish for the day. They're not real keen on it, but we found out that I have one child who takes his paperwork home to his parents. Another parent looks at the work of the other two, and then I keep it, which I will be keeping some of the child who takes theirs home to go in another folder. Then they each have a folder that they got to complete, that they got to color and designs and things. And I still have to have the one child do his, and it's the completed work samples. And I go through those at the end of the day and pull out sheets I need to keep. Some of the reviews, tests, things like that. Maybe they did especially good handwriting that day, things like that. Then I also have a book where I keep records. It's actually a binder, and in it I have grade sheets and attendance sheets, which I may have to do those in another video here, because it kind of take me a while to explain everything in it. But this is a grade sheet that I came up with years ago. The whiteout is because I had to move everything down, because this crew does more work pages than 6 a day. They actually beg for work. And I am a stickler. I record all the grades. I know some people don't. They just put check marks and stuff like that. So I whited it out so I can make copies and everything. And it's not as nice as the originals, which you'll see when I do the other video, because my writing is kind of tacky. So anyways, I will get on to that in the next video. If you found this one helpful and everything, please like it and subscribe below. Share it with your friends. Thank you from the Cannon Academy Homeschool.